Good morning, my loves. Sunday here. Hoping having a beautiful weekend, loves. Beautiful weekend. Beautiful weekend. Beautiful weekend. 157 is where we're picking it up. 156 is a correction to a previous document. 1122 King Road, not 1022 King Road. That's a 156. But we jump into 157. Now we're looking at receipts from Brian Koberger, Walmart and Target receipts. Let's see if they found anything suspicious in those purchases. Let's see. All right, let's go. 157. Vargas, right? February 28, 2023. Wolf is caged, of course. So, receipts collected by Detective Schweck, Idaho State Police. All right. Yeah, provided me with a folder that contained the following receipts he collected during the investigation from some local businesses. The details are listed below. Okay, Walmart, Brian Koberger, debit card ending in 1973. Oh, remember he was using cash. This suggests otherwise. Debit card ending in, right? So these are purchases from Walmart. All these dates. Uses debit card. Wasn't using cash here, guys. Right? Wasn't using cash. Okay. A majority of the items purchased were food. On 11/7, Koberger purchased a beanie hat, but there was no description of the hat. Well, it's a beanie hat, I guess. I spoke with an employee from Walmart, and he stated at the time he met with Detective Schweck, they were unable to locate the details of the exact beanie which Koberger purchased. On 12/1, Koberger purchased utility clothes. I spoke with an employee from Walmart who told me this item was a 9-pack hand towels. Well, that's different than utility clothes, but anyway. Yeah, 9-pack hand towels, which were 2 shades of gray. There was nothing else of interest listed on the above receipts. All right. Now, Target. Now we're looking at his Target debit card purchases, not cash. Yeah, so here they are. A lot more Target purchases. Anyway. One receipt from Target was provided from a transaction which belonged to Bethany Funk. Last 4 debit card number, right? 11/10/22 at 4:09 p.m. Right? Koberger was at Target on the same day as Bethany, but completed his transaction at 5:42 p.m. Okay, so he was there before. He checked out before she checked out. It is unknown if Bethany and Koberger were in Target at the same time. I guess you can't review their video cameras, right? There was nothing of interest purchased by him. Yeah. Harbor Freight. Debit card ending in that. Harbor Freight. 11/20. 7 days after the unalivings, at 11:36 a.m., Koberger purchased a 1,000-watt continuous inverter. 11:23, 3:36 p.m., he purchased a 2,000-watt, 4,000-watt power inverter and a 1-year ITC membership. Detective Schweck collected a copy of the owner's manual for this item. 11:23, 3:33 p.m., 4:33 p.m. He purchased an inverter cable. There were several other receipts from other customers which Detective Schweck collected at Harbor Freight. These receipts do not appear to be related, but were collected. Customer. Grocery. Receipt for a purchase made by Maddie Mogan at Taj Grocery. On 11/12, the day of 11:05 a.m., got some groceries there, Maddie. All right, storage unit information from Colfax, Washington. Detective Schweck collected unit renter information and contact information for 2 separate storage units in Colfax, Washington. 4-Star Supply Mini Storage and Clay Street Storage Units. The name Brian Koberger was not listed as a renter at either storage unit facility. All the documents provided to me from Detective Schweck are booked into MPD evidence. Vargas, March 1st, 2023. Reviewed March 2nd. Yeah, putting it in a late, right? Late. So there you go. Didn't find anything. Bought a power inverter, though. So, whatever. So there you go. That's 157, guys. Yeah. Wasn't using cash for all this. He was using his debit card. Anyway, 157. All right, guys. On to 160. 158. 2 traffic stops. Brian Koberger uploaded digitally to the file. 159 I'm not looking at. That's Oklahoma State bullshit. By AH reported that he was taking classes at Oklahoma State University. They found there was no evidence to suggest that. That's 159. On to 160. We got Brett Payne. You know where that Payne is for me. March 9th. All right. What do we got? So, Friday, March 3rd, 2023, I spoke to VH on the phone to reference a tip she reported to the tip line. I did not record our conversation. Again, I didn't record the conversation, so again, who knows what we talked about? I have no idea. H originally reported the tip in January of 2023 and stated she had an encounter with someone she thought was Koberger. I called H at her number and spoke to her about the tip. H told me she was working at a dancer at S on club in during the 2018-2019 time frame. That's a 2-hour drive from Pennsylvania. Hoffer stated she was unsure which of those 2 years the encounter took place. Great. H stated she came into work on what she described as a slow day and noticed only one man seated next to the stage alone. H stated she got on stage and began her dance when she noticed the man seemed to be talking to himself. H stated the man made her feel uneasy, but she continued her dance anyway. H told me during the dance she heard the man state something about wanting to unalive people. Well, she heard that dancing and listening to music, I guess. H told me she thought she misheard the man, so she did not acknowledge the statement until he said it again. H said she could not remember exactly what the man said, but thought it was something to do to the effect of wanting to unalive people. Oh my God. H told me she engaged with the man after the second comment, thinking he was trying to get attention. H told me she jokingly asked the man who he was going to unalive, to which he replied something to the effect of, whoever I want. Okay. H completed her dance and left the stage. Did you, maybe he threw tomatoes at her. I don't know. Did you throw any tomatoes at her? H told, or hey, quarters? Quarters. Anyway, sorry. H told me the conversation was strange enough she remembered telling the bouncers at the club to keep an eye on the man, who, she said, sat and watched the other dancers for some time. Eventually, H told me she offered the man a private dance, as he was the only patron in the club. Hey, you gotta offer. You gotta offer. Well, apparently he accepted. During this dance, H told me the man told her to look at him directly in the eyes the entire time and asked her questions about what car she drove and where she lived. H told me she finished the private dance, at which point the man left and did not return to the club to her knowledge. H told me she did not think about the encounter until she saw Koberger's picture on television upon his arrest, right? H told me she was fairly certain Koberger was the man she encountered in the club that day. H did not have any further information to corroborate her story, and it's not recorded anyway, so this never really happened, did it? Yeah, and told me she just wanted investigators to be aware. H reiterated to me she was fairly sure Kohlberger was the man that she saw. I concluded my conversation with H after I confirmed she would be willing to speak again if I needed further info. Okay, Payne, March 9th. Reviewed by Blaker. Same day. There you go. I don't know. Can you hear somebody say that over music and you're dancing? I don't know, guys. Anyway, again, this is not evidence of anything. If this is true and this was Kohlberger, this is not evidence of anything. We don't know if she heard him say that or not. She doesn't really know. I don't know. Take it for what you will. I don't find this to be very compelling. So anyway, if this even did happen, who knows? The conversation, again, was not recorded, so anything could have been discussed here. Anything could have been talked about. Anyway, that is number 160. All right, let's keep going. All right, on to 161, babies. 157 so far, 160, 161. Let's go. One 161. Let's go, Mr. Payne. You know where it is. March 9th, 2023. Here we go. All right. AL emailed a tip to the tip line on February 18th, 2023, and stated he was on Johnson Road on November 13th and saw a white car parked alongside the road between 5 and 6 p.m. on the 13th. Wow. Okay. I called L on March 8th. I called L on Mach 8. Yeah, well, I was unconscious and the G-force was just ripping into me. No, March 8th, 2023, and spoke to him over the phone. Our conversation was not recorded. Again, we can talk about anything. L told me he had gone to his sister's house in Washington on November 13th and was on his way home later that evening. L told me he noticed a white foreign model car parked on the side of the road under a tree as he went by. L told me he believed the time was approximately 5:30 p.m. L stated he did not pay close enough attention to see anyone in or near the car, but thought it was odd. Upon release of the probable cause affidavit for Kohlberger's arrest, yeah, that piece of shit, L thought it may have been Kohlberger's vehicle as it was on the Kohlberger's path of travel the evening of the 13th. Oh, but he didn't. Well, wait. He didn't set out until 2 o'clock in the morning, right? 2:24 a.m., right? So this is totally pointless. Once again, I had L describe the location to me, and he stated the car was under a large lone tree on Johnson Road between Johnson and Pullman. He added the pullout was located where Johnson Road changed from pavement to gravel. I located the location described and responded there. Upon receiving permission from the property owner, J.S., I began to dig in several areas which appeared to have been disturbed earth, but was unable to locate anything of evidentiary value. Sergeant Blaker and Detective Vargas responded with a metal detector and swept the area, but did not discover anything of note. We also searched under a nearby bridge and found a troll, but the troll didn't offer any type of information either when we talked to it. The troll, we just had to pay $34 to cross it, right? Yeah. Looked awful lot like Hunter Johnson. by the bridge, but did not discover anything of note. Further investigation will be conducted when weather permits. While on scene, L arrived and explained the vehicle was nosed in off the road, facing the farm field. Dark Night of the Scarecrow. L also stated he and a friend, now listen to this, L also stated he and a friend came to the spot several days prior, I guess before talking to police, and also used a metal detector to search the area. To do what? To do what? This is totally ludicrous. So L and his friend, they go to the spot prior with a metal detector to search the area. To do what? So what if they, let's say they find stuff. Well, then what? What are you going to do? Well, now you fucking tainted it, right? Who knows what these fucking people are doing? I thanked L for his stupidity and assistance and cleared the area after additional visual searches were conducted. So they didn't find anything. In addition to this info, during my initial phone call with L, he told me he was painting the apartment of BK. Now, I don't know if that's Brian Koberger because it's blacked out, but look, told me he was painting the apartment of BK, the previous tenant, Brent. We're talking about Brent Kopaka here, aren't we? Yes. The apartment of Brent Kopaka, the previous tenant and person named in tips during the initial investigation. Right. L stated he could see a knife blade in the gutter of the building from the apartment window. I requested Washington State University PD respond, the campus police, and collect the item, which they later did. The blade is a serrated cooking-style knife, much like the one Hunter Johnson was walking around the King Road house with the handle broken off. The blade portion was approximately 8 inches long, 2 inches wide, per the Washington State officers who collected it. Based off this description and the condition of the knife, I do not believe it matched the wounds found on each of the victims. However, I will still collect the knife from Washington State PD as soon as possible in order to properly analyze the item. Whatever happened to that? March 9th, pain in my ass, reviewed by Blaker the same day. There you go. 161, Brent Kopaka. We're finding knives in sewers, serrated steak knives of sorts, right? But, they probably don't match. And do we ever hear anything else about it? I have no idea. Let's carry on. That's 161. Not going to do 162. That is return warrant, search warrant issued to Google. For certain Gmail account. A few Gmail accounts. Nothing of major importance there for me. Whatever. That's 162. Let's keep going. 163. Let's go. 163. All right, 163. Blaker, March 15th. Release of personal property to Dylan for Bethany Funk and Dylan. Yeah, personal property. Okay, March 9th. March 9th, 2023 at around 4:30 p.m., Captain Lanier and I met LR and RM at the city shop. LR is Dylan Morton's stepmother. LR was there to gather all of Dylan and Bethany Funk's belongings, which had been released by the judge. L signed a release form for Dylan's belongings and one for Bethany Funk's belongings. Oh, isn't that nice? I also had signed consent forms allowing L to take the property. I have digitally attached all of these forms to the case. Blaker, March 15th, 2023, reviewed the same day by Corporal Payne. Now, does this include the evidence that Ann Taylor wanted to keep separate? I have no idea. It does not specify. I have no idea. It just says Dylan's stepmom retrieved Dylan's belongings and Bethany Funk's belongings. And I don't know if that includes the evidence that Ann Taylor wanted kept separately, like the note, like her Van sneakers. Yeah, 163, guys. 164, I'm not touching. It's these idiots doing a daytime drive of the route they feel Brian took. They did that in March 15th. Totally pointless. March 15th doesn't look the same as November 13th in Moscow. So that's totally pointless. Yeah, they took photos on their little drive. Yeah, they took surveillance photo. Yeah. So they're driving, guys, they're driving around. They're trying to do the same drive they think he did. Totally pointless. I mean, again, you don't know, it's totally pointless. You don't know who's driving the car. So this is meaningless. Well, I'm not touching 164. It's meaningless to me. All right, let's check out 165 real quick, guys. 165. Okay, interesting. 165. Blaker, March 21st, 2023. Right? Wolf is caged, of course. Been caged for almost 3 months now, right? Well, over 3 months. Oh, no. Well, whatever. Close. So, what do we got? All right. March 21st, 2023, right? I was asked to see if we still had video surveillance from the front lobby area of the police department from November 13th, 2022. I was informed by Koberger's defense team that they had requested any video showing where we had any witnesses where they may have been kept on the day of the unalivings. Where were the witnesses? Where did you separate them? Where were they? Right? Hey, good point. I checked the cameras to the front lobby and the camera in the training room, but was only able to recover video from 3 cameras which show the front lobby area. That's it. I burned the video to a DVD and booked it into property. It needs to be noted, none of these cameras are equipped with audio. Okay, that's great. Yeah, Blaker, March 21st, 2023, reviewed the next day by Corporal Payne in my fucking schlonga. There you go. That's 165. The defense teams wants to see where are these witnesses? Were they talking to each other? Probably. Yeah, anyway, 165. 166, not covering. That's Payne requesting March 15th, 2023. It's Payne requesting all Whitman County court documents in reference to the case. The next day, he received an email from the Whitman County Prosecutor's Office containing the requested record. And I attached them to the case file electronically. So that's 166. Let's carry on. 167. K-bar knife found. Oh, God, I don't know. March 20th, 2023, a little kid's playing in bushes. And they find a K-bar knife. And March 21st, it was retrieved. The K-bar knife had a blade of approximately 4 inches long. The knife was in a black Kydex sheath with cordage wrapped around the handle. However, This knife did not appear to match the wounds inflicted on all 4 victims. I collected the knife from LCSO and booked it into MPD evidence on March 21st, 2023. Okay, that's what that is. Whatever. I don't know. That's what that is. 167. 168. Not touching. Meaningless to me. You could check it out. Documents provided in response to the subpoena issued to Moscow police, and they followed the link, downloaded the documents. That's it, 168. All right, guys, and we are going to finish it up with 169 for this sequence. So we hit 157, 160, 161, 163, 165, and now we're hitting 169 to wrap this segment up. Okay, 169. $169. Let's go. Maori, March 22nd, 2023. Strava. I was always curious about Strava. Strava Koberger warrant, March 22nd, 2023. On February 23rd, 2023, I applied for a warrant for data associated with any Strava accounts linked to Brian Koberger by recovery email, cookie, Android ID, creation IP, or phone number with any of the following identifiers. There they are, all blacked out. On February 26, 2023, the warrant was granted and signed by Magistrate Megan Marshall with 14 days to serve the legal process. On March 1st, 2023, at approximately 10:24 a.m., the warrant was served via the email at strava.com. I received an email shortly after the submission confirming the receipt of the request and assigning the Strava ticket. On March 15, 2023, I received an email from Strava stating the data requested was pursuant to the warrant was available to download. On March 22nd, I logged into the law enforcement portal and began downloading the files to the forensic computers. In reviewing the contents, I found that the user of the account had a date of birth of 1994 and logged into the account on July 31st, 2022 at 9:08 a.m. from the IP address of this IP address showed it may be located near Sandwich, Washington, and is sourced to Lease Web Seattle. The mobile device ID number showed I found the 2 saved run routes, both located on or near the Washington State University. In continuing to the review of the data, I found the account was following no other accounts and only had followers after December 31st, 2022. A warrant return receipt and affidavit were completed, and these documents were sent to the Latah County Prosecutor's Office to be returned to the court. Okay. Yeah. And that's it, guys. So nothing was found in the Strava. Nothing. March 22nd, Maori, reviewed the same day by Payne. Nothing was found in the Strava. I was always curious about the Strava account, and nothing at all. He was not following anybody. Yeah, so there you go. Strava, nothing. That's 169, guys. Hey, we're going to talk a little later. I hope you're enjoying your morning here, drinking some good coffee, babies. Oh, yeah, we're going to pick it up a little later today. I love you all. That was 157, and the last we touched 169. We keep going, babies. Love you.